Hello, friends. This is Dave Hurwitz, executive editor at ClassicsToday.com, here with Mildred, the one, the only, my assistant, at least when I can persuade her to join me, here with What Are You Listening to Lately? And what I've been listening to lately, and I listen to it lately, kind of regularly lately, I guess, is this, Johann Halvorsen orchestral music. This is such a wonderful set, and it's virtually unknown. It features the Bergen Philharmonic under Neeme Järvi, and the thing that's so cool about this is that, you know, everybody mopes around about the fact that there's like no great Norwegian symphonist or 19th century Norwegian symphonist, or like Grieg didn't write major symphonies or too many works in large forms. Actually, the ones he did write in large forms, like the violin sonatas and things, are fabulous. But his symphony is nothing special, and it's always compared to, you know, other uninteresting Norwegian symphonies of the period, you know. But Halvorsen, there's Halvorsen. I mean, his dates were 1864 to 1935, sort of like Richard Strauss dates, similar to that. He wrote 3 absolutely first-class romantic Norwegish symphonies, and lots of incidental music and other orchestral pieces besides. This 4-disc set contains over 5 hours, I believe. Over 5 hours of absolutely terrific national romantic orchestral music. I mean, the kind we all say we want more of, because Grieg didn't do enough in terms of large orchestral works. Well, here we go. Halvorsen did. So if you like your Grieg, put this over here, there, you're going to like Halvorsen. You really will. It's terrific. And let me just tell you what's in here on these 4 discs so that you can go out and have a grand old time on your own. And you will. I guarantee it. Okay, first, on Volume 1, the Entry March of the Boyars. Well, that's like his most famous sort of pops piece, which is lots of fun. Then this Andante Religioso for solo violin and orchestra. Wonderful short little thing. His suite from Masquerade, 27 minutes and 54 seconds, with all kinds of nifty stuff. See, I mean, incidental music, and for all these Scandinavian composers, you know this was a big deal. Sibelius wrote tons of incidental music that's marvelous, some of his best pieces, and Grieg's Peer Gynt, of course, and Nielsen's Aladdin, and his opera Masquerade, which is like the same story. But the bottom line is, the theaters in Scandinavia had big orchestras, and composers wrote extensively and wrote fantastic music. And Halvorsen was one of the best. He really was. It's wonderful stuff. And so then we've got Le Mélancolie, a melancholy of Ole Bull, which is 2 minutes and 28 seconds, and the First Symphony. Now, these symphonies are really good national romantic symphonies. I mean, if you like Borden and Balakirev and Glazunov and those people, and you're going to love these. You're just going to love these. If you like Sibelius, you're going to love these. If you like Grieg, you're going to love these. If you like Tchaikovsky, you're going to love these. They're wonderful pieces. Absolutely wonderful. So that's Volume 1. Let's get to Volume 2. You get all the notes from the original. These are available separately. I don't know if the box is still out there, but the separate volumes, I believe, are. Let's see. So there's Volume 1. Yeah, okay, there was Volume 1. Oh, wait a minute. Oh, I see what they did. They interleaved them with the actual CDs. So you get the individual booklets and the individual CDs. So now I have to get this out. There's the first part. And then here's like the pairing of the next couple. So let's do these. Volume 2. It's good to have the booklets. I mean, it is. Don't get me wrong. You have the Holberg Suite. Suite Ancienne, to the memory of Holberg. 25 minutes of other Holberg for full orchestra, which is just delicious. 3 Norwegian dances for violin and orchestra. The Air Norvégien for violin and orchestra, and the Veselmi song for violin and string orchestra to my dear friend, Miss Kathleen Parlow, and Symphony Number 2, Fatum. Yes, Fatum. It's a fate symphony. Oh, baby, yes, it's juicy. It's only 28 minutes long. I mean, there's nothing not to love. So that's Volume 2, which I shall put there. Then we got to find Volume 3. then I'm going to have to reassemble this all in the correct order because I will have a nervous breakdown if I don't do that. Symphony number 3. Again, these are not long works, less than half an hour. This one's 26 minutes and 48 seconds. But that doesn't mean that they're in any way shallow or, sorry about that, Mildred, if they're shallow or incompetent or anything like that. They're not. They just happen to be pithy, but wonderfully so, like Roussel's symphonies. They're just, terrific. Then we've got Black Swans, whatever that is, and his Wedding March for violin solo and orchestra, and the Wedding of Ravens in the Grove of the Crows, Norwegian folk melody arranged for string orchestra, and Fossa Grimmen, which is totally wonderful. The dramatic suite for orchestra, another half an hour. I mean, these are bigger than the symphonies in some ways, these suites of incidental music and stuff like that. This is really a cool piece. It really is. And Bergensiana, Rococo Variations on an old melody from Bergen, which is just delightful. And this is an 80-minute disc. So that's volume 3. And finally, we've covered the 3 symphonies. And volume 4 has got, let's see, the Norwegian Rhapsody numbers 1 and 2, which are absolutely lovely, as you might expect. The Norwegian Bridal Procession, which is orchestration of the Norwegian Bridal Procession by Edvard Grieg. It's Grieg. It's not Wedding Day at Troldhagen. That's the other one. That's that gets into your head forever and you can't get it out. This is different. And then we've got the Passacaglia Duo for violin and viola. After the Passacaglia from Suite number 7 for harpsichord by Handel. Well, that's a little different. The Dance Scene from Queen Tamara, Oriental character piece for orchestra. Juicy. Symphonic intermezzo from The King, from the play The King, by Bjornstjerne Bjornson. Then we've got the Norwegian Festival Overture for orchestra. And finally, Norwegian Fairy Tale Pictures, which is a suite from the play Pike and the Giant Troll. Yeah, okay, like we watch that play all the time. So there you have it. That's the Halvorsen stuff. And I got to tell you, this is just delightful music. Every single note of it is enjoyable. And I just think this is a great set. The performances are stunning. The sonics are marvelous. I mean, if you're not listening to this lately, you ought to be. Get some of it, play it. I've talked about Halvorsen before in my talk on composers who ought to be back in the mainstream and things like that, neglected composers and whatnot. But I haven't given this box the individual treatment that it surely deserves. And so now I have, and I feel very good about that. And you'll feel even better if you listen to it. Right, Mildred? Yeah, see, she twitched. That means she's paying attention. So keep on listening, friends. Thanks for joining me. Take care.